Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me Isabel here with your Romancelandia Monthly for the month of September. I just want y'all to know we were so close to basically having nothing this month, and I feel like in the last 2 weeks it has been chaos. And I don't say that lightly. It has been a lot. We've got a lot to unpack. We've got a lot to talk about. First things first though, everything will be timestamped down below if you want to jump around anywhere. And also, I do have a quick correction. I messed up a book title last month. I described the book Alaska by her, not the book that was part of the controversy, because I just mixed up the plots, because honestly, I own one K Webster book that I was going to read and I have stopped reading. Well, I've removed from my TBR because I'm just not comfortable talking about her on my channel. So I don't really like to read books and not talk about them right now, currently in my life. So it's just somebody I'm not going to prioritize reading, especially with the harm she's done to. If you're curious about what I'm talking about, you can go check out last month's video. I'll link it down below for you. But just quick FYI, I did mess up book titles and I apologize. I can't be perfect. Nobody is. We all make mistakes. All right, so the first thing we have this month is Ali Hazelwood's article on Goodreads. She was interviewed by Goodreads this month talking about Love on the Brain since it came out. And there was a stir up on Twitter about this. Most of the tweets unfortunately have been deleted and I did not grab screenshots in time, and that is my bad. I'm usually good about this and I just didn't even think about it. But people were upset because Ali talked about being fed tropes and kind of a setting by her agent. And this is a treatment that we don't often see given to people in underrepresented communities in the bookish space, right? Ali, of course, got this treatment, and this is before her book even sold, The Love Hypothesis. So she was fed this to like give her ideas for what else to write. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's something that I wish more agents talked about or did for especially their authors of color. But I think it's also something that like, it's like a double-sided coin thing where I'm like, there's bad parts to this and there's good things about this. I think it's great that she's this candid and shares this information, because if she didn't share it, other authors wouldn't know it existed and that this was a thing. And if she lied about it, it would just feel kind of weird. I mean, obviously we'd probably never know, but I just think the transparency of saying that and showcasing how much support she got in writing Love on the Brain is really important, because I think it can allow authors of color to go back and ask for similar support outside of marketing dollars on their books when it comes to tropes and agents, not agents, and edits and things like that, perhaps. I don't know, I just think it can give you a little bit more leverage. Obviously not every author is going to be a bestseller like Ali Hazelwood is, but I still think you can see that they're getting things that I'm not, and I can maybe try and ask or negotiate for those things. And that's important. You can't negotiate for things that you don't always know exist. Like, if you didn't know that was a thing you could have, like, how would you know to ask for it? Does that make sense? I hope this makes sense. Anyways, that was the Ali Hazelwood situation that happened on Twitter early this month. I will link to that article down below for you if you're interested in reading it. I do think publishing needs to work more on how they handle these things for various authors. But that's, again, not something I think we're going to see change soon, unfortunately. And then a Kate Stewart follow-up. So Kate Stewart, our good old pal who had her weird racism about Mexican American people in her book, someone found more racism in that guy on the left book, particularly around a black character. So she used black stereotypes in this book, and it just seemed like someone else found transphobia, and it just like kept going. So I just want to share that although obviously what was in Drive was bad, it just got worse. Like, as time passed on this issue, I feel like I kept seeing more and more things pop up. So I'm just cemented in my I'm not touching the Raven series. I don't care that it's getting picked up by a publisher and getting a traditional release. I have no interest in it. And also, if you think cancel culture is real, the fact that that book series is getting picked up after all the issues were talked about Kate Stewart last month, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, again, I know a deal could be in progress. I'm pretty well versed on how business works, but I'm just saying that's just not the case when it comes to this one, unfortunately. All right. So yeah, just, you know, continued with Kate Stewart update there. Next we have a fun piece and a happy piece because I felt like I needed to sandwich everything because we have like a lot of not great this month. But the best news of the month is that Nora Roberts donated 50 grand to keep a library open in Michigan. I about said the state I live in. No, it's in Michigan. That was going to be closed because they wouldn't pull their LGBT plus books off the shelves. So they were losing funding and they ran a GoFundMe and Nora Roberts gave them 50K. And it warmed my heart. Listen, Nora Roberts is not always for me. I do prefer her JD Robb stuff, but I'm just gonna say this. I would love to visit her little town in Virginia and go to her little bookstore, and I happily would go to a signing for her because like she's just iconic. Like Nora Roberts is iconic when it comes to romance, and the fact that she just did this no questions asked was like, you know, saw the news I guess and was like, here's 50 grand. You know, and like again, she's able to do that and it's amazing that she can, and it made me very happy. I love Nora. She's the queen of the romance genre. So good news. I'll link to some news articles for y'all about that one, but I just think with what's going on right now in the world with book banning, specifically in the States, is really scary, and I love when I'm seeing people who have influence and power step up and help stop some of it or mitigate it, because this is it's scary, y'all. Like, let's just be honest, it's very, very scary. All right, now we're gonna move into the like isms, because I'm not joking. We got quite a few. First, we will start off with some ableism. So this is about the Bookish Box and Katee Robert. When I first saw this, I didn't think we'd be where we're at right now. As of the day I'm filming this, because we just like took a turn, literally, y'all. So Bookish Box, I've talked about some before, buyer beware. They have massive issues with a ton of their books that have gone out. Constant printing issues, errors, delays in shipment, you name it, Bookish Box has done it wrong. And it boggles my mind that anyone's still buying our books. So Katee Roberts, publisher, Source Books for the Neon Gods, Dark Olympus, Wicked Beauty, all that, those books. Dark Olympus is the series. That is the name. Struck a deal with Bookish Box. Well, Bookish Box went to them and was like, can we get rights to publish special editions? The publisher said yes. Of course they did. It's money in their pocket. Who's surprised? I'm not. So they said yes. And the Bookish Box then made special editions. I think there's hardcover and paperbacks. I've seen like some snippets of them. I don't really care. I refuse to purchase from them, to be honest with you, so I didn't pay attention. And so they mailed Katee initially what was only supposed to be 6,000 tip-in sheets, which are the sheets that she signs and they stick in the book when they bind it. 6,000. I think it actually ended up being closer to 8,000 by the end. And Katie's been pretty open online about her disability with her hands. She has really, really bad carpal tunnel and issues, and she can't type all day even, and is having to mitigate. She can't sign. Like, I'm on her Patreon, and like we get stickers to put in our books that are signed, and I'm fine with that. I could care less if they're stamped. But, well, we'll get to the stamp thing. These books were sent out, people got them, and some people on TikTok were mad because it was apparent that one book was signed and one book was stamped. And I just was stunned that people were upset about this. This is never something that's crossed my mind. I honestly, like, the amount of books the authors sign at events stresses me out sometimes. I'm like very concerned for their hand health and their health too, because like that's just, it's grueling. Like, that is a hard day. You can't tell me that going to a book event and like having to sign 1,000+ books in a day wouldn't be absolutely exhausting and require like recovery of your hand. I saw people calling out the fact that people were mad about the stamp before I saw any videos about the stamp, so that was very funny to me. I was like, I have a well-curated FYP on TikTok. But yeah, so some people were very mad that there was a stamp, and Bookish Box nowhere says that the book is hand signed or stamped. It just says signed. And this isn't the first time they've used a digital signature or a stamp. They used digital signatures for Carrie Maniscalco, something like that. It's a YA book, the Jack the Ripper series. I'm pretty sure those are digitally signed. So they've done it before. This isn't like new, so they don't clarify what type of signature you're getting. And I guess people just were very upset that it wasn't all hand signed. But I also know that like, it's not like Katee got the 8,000 tip-in sheets to sign with months to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she probably got those and had to turn them around very quickly. Whereas if you had a lot more time to do it, you probably could hand sign them all by doing like a set amount every day and not like injuring yourself. So it continues to kind of escalate on Twitter some. Katee's pretty polite, honestly, and doesn't start too much of a fight. She kind of slightly apologizes that people are upset, but, you know, also states she has no control over things because this is done through her publisher, not her, which people don't seem to always understand either. So then today, when I was filming this, Bookish Box sent out an email saying that Katee profusely apologizes for having to use a stamp in the books. You can't find this email if you didn't get the email. Like, it's not anywhere to be found as far as I could tell. And Katee did a 3-minute TikTok. I will link it down below. And she's absolutely right. She never apologized. So Bookish Box is trying to say she did something she didn't do. Because she shouldn't have to apologize for her disability. And it's not anybody's business, her disability, technically. So like, people need to calm down about that one big time. And also, well, she also talks about the power imbalance she's in because like this company that has contracted with her publisher is doing these things that are questionable and she can't really do a lot about it because it's her publisher. Like, you know, like there's some power imbalances happening here. And then she says at the end of the video, don't buy my books from Bookish Box. So I stand behind Katee's statement. I continue to not purchase from Bookish Box and I refuse to ever buy anything from them. I have a keychain that I got at a Polycon for free and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. So I know I gave one away. So yeah, like, I don't want their stuff. I don't want it in my house. I don't want it on my shelves. I don't want it anywhere near me because I feel like at this point Bookish Box has continued to be just awful, y'all. Like, I don't know what needs to happen, but like, romance readers, don't buy from them. And hopefully YA readers stop buying from them too, because I just, like, they're kind of terrible. Like, the books are always damaged or wrong or misprinted. I don't understand. I'm not gonna spend $90 on a crappy version. I'd rather save up and get like an Illumicrate edition or like, I don't know. I just like, there's better boxes out there than freaking Bookish Box that actually have quality control. Hey y'all, it's editing me here. I'm upstairs in my room, so I was able to like set it up well. So I wanted to give you the update on the Katee Robert Bookish Box situation because things have changed since I filmed on Thursday because of course on Friday a whole bunch of stuff went down. So I wanted to update you on that because Katee's publisher, Sourcebooks Casablanca, posted an apology, like a statement about Bookish Box stuff. And Katee also posted a notes apology, which I'll link down below. And Bookish Box posted one of the worst apologies I've ever seen, / statements, whatever you want to call it. They said, we love Katee. We are sorry that she felt unsupported by us. We never intended to do harm and you can expect us to do better. Okay, that's the, okay. Yep, so that's where we're at. Katee is like, they all basically have said their piece. I will link to it down below for you. I didn't want to not include it because I know that like obviously this all went down on Friday, so it's pretty fresh. That's the update. Katee said let's just enjoy beautiful copies of my book. So that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, I'm still not buying from Bookish Box, but I felt relevant to include this. And back to previous me talking about more stuff. Next, we have the racism from a new author. And problematic representation. So we're gonna talk about JT Geissenger. This is an author I've officially also removed from my TBR personally, but she has a book that came out called Pen Pal, which was causing a stir because I think people don't feel like it's a romance and she was trying to market it as a romance. So I don't know, it's not my kind of book, to be honest with you, but it has schizophrenia in it. And there is this wonderful girl on TikTok who has schizophrenia who is talking about the issues in this book. So there's that. So yeah, let's, you know, again, I think it's important when someone with a disability or a mental health issue or something exactly aligned with what is in a book's content, calls out a book's content as an issue, it's important we stop and listen. So I will link to her video down below because I want to make sure that y'all can watch it if you want to. This call out happens. So per Willow, whose video I highly recommend you go watch, she talks about how in Pen Pal she's using schizophrenia as a plot device and not in a good way, and talks about how often this mental illness is vilified by media and books and just everywhere in general, and misunderstood by the general public because we just don't know a lot about it. And I can tell you right now, I don't know a ton about it. It's just not okay. Like, this book should have had a sensitivity reader that read for schizophrenia rep to help her better develop it, because it's just kind of cringe. But it doesn't end there with JT Geissenger, unfortunately, because Hen Solo Reads, who I also really like on TikTok, talked about another JT Geissenger book. She completely stereotyped a black woman female character in her books, and it is quoted in the video I'm going to link for you. And she also has like a bunch of fat phobia in some of her other books, and I'm really sad. I literally just got one of the audios for her Mafia series, and I was really excited for it, but I returned it because I'm just not like, I'm not okay with this. So this character in Wicked Beautiful is introduced in a way that is just one walking racial stereotype, and it continues and continues and continues, and I just am so uncomfortable with this at the end of the day, to be honest with you. I don't want to have to talk about, like, I hate that we keep having to talk about this about authors. I feel like it's not hard to not be shitty. It's really easy, and I don't understand how we keep finding more and more issues with authors. I mean, I do understand how, but it makes me angry because I just get so sick of having to rehash the same things that are not that hard. This stereotype that she leans into particularly is around the woman being large, and her hair's big, and her body's big, and her outfit's loud, and it's just not okay. It is so not okay, and I'm just so uncomfortable with it. So I highly recommend, if you want like full screen caps, go check out the TikTok I'm gonna link down below, because I honestly, I'm good, and I don't want to download the book and give her any kind of view to like go grab the screenshots. So have at if you are curious. All right, so last on the clown party train we're having here of people just being awful, I swear y'all, I swear, is Serena Akeroyd. I want to use this as an opportunity to talk about good faith questions and bad faith questions, and this whole situation is a bad faith question, and that is the problem with it. This is from another person on TikTok who I adore named Mallory, and I will link to her video down below. Do not give her hate. I swear, if I find out any of y'all went over there and were like mean to her, I will not be happy. So Serena posted in Millionaire Author Mastermind. Hey guys, I see a lot of mud being slung on Book Talk, and I'd rather err on the side of caution. So that being said, has anyone heard of a master list of words that if included in a book, readers will actively campaign to cancel that author? What did we talk about a minute ago about Kate Stewart? Oh yeah, she's still got a traditional book publishing deal. Cancel culture is real, totally real. Does anyone know where to get their hands on that list? It includes terms like master bedroom, chocolate eyes, apparently. Thank you. This is a bad faith question. This isn't trying to learn and do better. This is like, listen to the silly thing that people are trying to do. Like, they're just trying to cancel people over silly words and nothing harmful. Like, what's wrong with these terms? What's wrong with these words? What's wrong with the term chocolate eyes? What's like, we're avoiding the true harmful terms here where like you are actually actively harming people. This is a bad faith question, y'all, and I cannot stand bad faith questions because in my opinion, at the end of the day, like, we have so much access to learn and do better as in the world without much needed to do that. Like, you really can just Google it. There's so much out there. And to sit here and act like you're gonna be canceled over using master bedroom, which again, yes, a lot of people have switched to primary bedroom, and that's fine. Like, I think it's a good switch, but to act like these like words that aren't like seemingly harmful are like just so funny, and it's just so silly. Everyone's so silly to have these here. on this list, and I don't want to get canceled, is bananas to me. And I'm not surprised, because here's the thing. I'm pretty sure we've talked about Serena Akeroyd before in Romancelandia, and this all comes right back to the fact that this author did not give a shit about her readers when it came down to content and trigger warnings, because she, in her book Nyx, literally wrote, and I quote, "Okay guys, the name Nyx literally means night, as in dark. I mean, come on, I'm not going to write about a hero called Dark without the story being dark, am I? I'd just be disappointing you. Personally, I don't think it needs a warning, but my PA said to me, Jem, that's my real name. It starts the way it starts. Won't spoil it. So of course it needs a trigger warning. Well, I'm rebelling. This is about as much of a trigger warning as I'll give you. If you don't like dark books, this might not be for you, so you've been warned. Now into the darkness you go." Here's the thing. I like dark books. Many of us like dark books. It doesn't erase what our triggers are. Like, I literally cannot read Nikki the Driver, one of my most anticipated books of the year, because I've been told ahead of time by the author, by readers, about a trigger warning in there that is going to set me off, that is not healthy for me. So I can't read that book right now because I'm not in a place for it. It's not hard to care about your readers and care about not sending them into a spiral or having them have a breakdown because out of nowhere there's rape, or out of nowhere there's something like just really intense. I don't have a lot of like issues with, like, I am one of the few people like that I know of that like don't really have triggers too much, and mine are so very specific that usually I'm fine. And they're not really often in books. I don't tend to pick up books with tons of eating disorder issues in them, so I'm usually okay. Sometimes I can read them and sometimes I can't. But I'm just saying, like, if I picked this book up and it was like heavy eating disorder content and I just went into a spiral, that's not okay. Like, that's not good. And to just not care about the mental health or the well-being of your readers is weird to me when it's really not difficult to provide trigger warnings. Now, if you go pick up Nyx right now, it does have an updated trigger warning list because she, I guess, listened to feedback. But I don't trust it or believe it because, again, this question in this group to me just screams, I want to not adhere to helping people not be harmed. I just want to gaslight the world and act like these are the words that are making people be canceled when, like, no, actively being racist is making people be canceled. Again, cancel culture is not real, but in their eyes, that's what they think. And I just, y'all, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing to witness people do this over and over again, and it's just annoying. It's so frustrating. So that is the Serena Akeroyd update. I had already kind of pulled her off my TBR, and she's just a firm no now. Anyways, that's it for this month's Romancelandia Monthly. I hope y'all enjoyed. I will have links to every TikTok and video and things I reference that I can link to in the description box for you. I will also have links to be my friend anywhere on the internet. If you're interested in early access of Romancelandias, I do have membership links down there as well, where I share Romancelandias a couple days before they go up with my members, so they get to watch it early and they also get to hear what topics are going in. And if you don't want to do that, no worries. I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Already packing, come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away.